Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized that the court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you go. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I tried to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. Don't let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would the detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Your salary must be I was working on the cover. On the cover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working on the cover. Instance at the restaurant. What kind of instance? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point to the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in an agreement. Would that be correct?
Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sailed off to the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. I'm trying to give him Edgeworth's voice, but with more of a Japanese style to it, because for some reason I'm getting Edgeworth vibes from him. Do you mean to say remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was a killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as a primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Cosmo? UMA University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. Yep, giving him the Edgeworth voice. Edgeworth Steiner, so it doesn't really matter. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table is a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of UMA University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I raised all evidence of this lady's presence on the scene. I ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dying alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the new deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any others to influence the proceedings of my court. Inspector Hosonaga?
Yes, sir?
You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency.
At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Nothing will get my way. Pardon your tuberculosis.
Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
Yeah, I'll give him the edge of a voice. It'll only be temporary anyway. Here's out a picture for the rest of the game. Excellent work, Inosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. Forget Brutus, I don't ever want to see you inside the courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been seeing all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? Ah! Don't do that! Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, how about this young gentleman? Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened in that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just I bent down and picked it up. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas as long as they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Now you fuck. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend about the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Cosmo? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Cosmo! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in the restaurant. I must say I very much want to know the truth. After all, no personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, you said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't you? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a... Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Actually, apart from the judge and the prosecutor, I'm not giving any voices yet. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. Something I think we may need. Good luck, cousin. So I don't exist to you? Defendant no holdo. Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before those old fossils know us here. Cosmo? What? Thank you, really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then, I'll save the thank yous for after the trial.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Inosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Do you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down on our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. The friendship between our nations is really so fragile that the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written. You really have nothing to worry about, Inosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up, you jumped up. Why are you lining ourselves with this? Great world power will become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Study political... I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. Standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Inosuke. Despite its wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency. Well, what delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea, something English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea.
Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I've been working on the... Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true? No idea. Yeah. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? That your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. So, Inosuke, powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. What? I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student, currently enrolled in Yuma University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand the word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Cosima. Your English doesn't matter you're old, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke.
The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnaval, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dying there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
She says, yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Is this what English sounds like to Japanese? She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, and you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Thanks to playing the original Ace Attorney, I've had observation in the game about her. Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight.
Do you mean to say?
Yes, it would appear a lady did witness a crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right now in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. I believe you already established.
Order! Order in court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is.
Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described.
I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. And not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes.
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. God, and to think, one of his successors will be simple again over Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blur out when you goaded like that. That's the lesson you need to learn. But you're so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there was nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are witnesses' own words on the matter. Ah, that's ridiculous. Bunny was allowed to lift up a Don't think about doing anything rash, Inosuke. But I didn't find a gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we need to pull her testimony apart. Yep, you can tell from the smirk.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
Yes!
He wasn't able to eat. And that was because he just had a tooth removed that was hard to clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. So that would mean that was you who ate the steak picture of him. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have travelled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I'll crush the evil fiend that subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Huh? Oh, and then some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor wasn't able to eat, but he'd been given permission to drink water. So it appears that diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is the profound bearing, huh? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony.
Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Cosmo. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that. You know, it's okay.
Yes!
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future, really. You must all speak English. Yeah, you clearly don't know how to speak English. So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured in 2 glasses myself. Clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak? That was for you, Miss Bird? The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is lady's opinion. I've heard it's not customary to use sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True, come to think of it, the first time I tried carbonated water was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. Well, anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place what she's saying. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. I've got a hunch, but...
Yes!
Nope.
Yes!
After 2 PM, in fact. That's really quite a lunch.
Richard!
Late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue, isn't that right? No. The size of English now has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. It was apparently a daily occurrence that they would have lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove in the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. God, and his fucking descendant is also a simp.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely, I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes, immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector? No. Why on earth not? The Honourable English gentleman clearly stated that she did not... Ouchie, shut the fuck up. If you're guilty of committing a crime, would you just admit to it straight away? No, I didn't think you would. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or, there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps? Think what you will, but if you're going to continue this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist in the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your officer told you to get the woman out of there. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime, which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. Does anyone have a gun which I can use to shoot this guy in the head? He's a pain in the ass. You can at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm guarding you. Your words have no importance. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is now an totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, just from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm just exactly the same way as you are, except the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is the only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. Can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you get from around the courtroom.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked on my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, there's someone much... That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Yes!
There we go. That's it. Let me just confirm something. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... Dear me, what? Really? You know, okay, what is about it? And that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Bird just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Why are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? Quite right. I suddenly took 2 glasses to the table.
Inspector, what did lady say?
It seemed that was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious!
Sorry. Now, as I showed the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. You must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before our very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in a state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you're now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped into a small handbag she was carrying.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by World. Next time he's in, I'll give him a more aggressive sounding voice. This is a WIP voice anyway. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. Hey, logic overpowers emotions, bitch. I seriously hate people who choose to listen to emotion over logic. No more pretentious accusations. You're wasting enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense are in agreement?
Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance, there is a handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags of small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Bird stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right!
Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Mr. Zalevet's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Bird's handbag. No!
Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Archie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. I'm just giving him a normal voice until I can work out the proper one. You think so, Cosmo? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because It was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that it would be prudent to take immediately after shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never! You can see right here through to what's inside.
Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment.
So the contents are clearly visible.
Exactly, so there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruto-san.
Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once.
Certainly, Your Excellency.
I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance.
Fuck you!
I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over his bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought he was beginning to turn things around. The worst situation I was in at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Rinosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weaker meet while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. Hey, mate! Did I forget to tell you? You're gonna be killed. You're gonna be kicked. Your descendants are gonna have their asses kicked by his descendants. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue.
Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little...
Rinosuke Naruhodo, having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you...
Wait, Your Excellency. Rinosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet. You haven't pursued all possible avenues? I mean, there's a fucking mark right there. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems our trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appeared to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem in this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Renosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him that voice from now on. My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it.
Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect.
Hey mate, how about I goddamn bash on the head with that gavel of yours, eh?
Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Excellency. Oh, you can actually... That mark on his hand.
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right.
Go on, Inspector.
The police coroner also noticed that when he was performing the post-mortem examination, it was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? No possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn.
Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Renosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with this case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But I don't keep pushing this all over. I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hopes I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am. If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly be able to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture.
But if we had evidence? Evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it?
I would, yes.
Tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. As soon as he pointed it out, what I did notice was the colour draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? Well, yeah, and her sudden desperation to get out of there. She would have desperately tried to make a dash for it if she had. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then the defense will now present its evidence to the court.
Yes!
Let's know then.
Yes!
Let's know then.
Yes!
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here furthermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on.
The plate? Ah!
Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn. Are exactly the same shape. Ah! Renosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? I'm probably going to give the judge a more menacing voice in TGAA 2 because of that revelation. The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And, although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense has pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds.
It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then.
I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it, something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day...
That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without a question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aoji? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think...
Can it really be true? I never dreamed we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question... was already dead. Because he would have nursed it, and it would have woke him up. No man can remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular state.
Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes, it's only possible. Like I said, it's a work in progress. That's why I keep changing my voice for him. Where is he? Leo. Now it's up there. He's tucked in. Already?
Dead?
Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Agnes!
Order, please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Archie, it's you who have no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered an burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Why have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard,
incredible! I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Burt, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency!
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, that smile. Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Ah! Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all.
But then why have you been speaking for an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentleman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well... You are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honoured by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Britt, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
So, we're finally going to hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Minosky. Allegro. You can tell because it's faster paced. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, I don't know how to distinguish male and female English tones, so because my accent is British, I'm just gonna go my own. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot. Is there some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace? Please, do show me. Where the... what? Oh, forgive me. Huh? Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boyish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Kira?
Yes!
Nope.
Yes!
Nope.
Yes! Yes!
Nope.
Yes!
So it's none of the foes then.
Yes! Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Luckily for all of us, little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. There's no signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It could only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, you wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. If the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest.
Yes!
As you testified before, you're drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why you ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Oh no. Oh no? Whether or not the professor actually drank any water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. The benefit of us in the court, it means bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. In this court, you investigate once and that's the end of it, isn't that so? Quite right. Le Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Wait.
Yeah. What do you think, Renosuke? I think it's going terribly, no matter how much I press him. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. I need to find a way to fake her testimony and the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. Cosmo. There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant. If it may present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing on that last statement one more time.
Yes!
Inferior? Yeah.
Wait.
Yes, there is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Renosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement.
Wait. Excuse me.
Yeah! What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply. Looked like you were thinking of something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. Hmm? The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes?
Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett?
Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always try to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of crime. Preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that... Yes, this is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. Well, how about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water.
Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Go on, give him the weird voice I gave Stronghand last time. Obviously, I am referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Order! Order! Order!
And on that day, he was sitting at the same table as our professor and able to slip the poison into his drink. There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Zale Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence, you lucky little rookie imbecile. Have you ever considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we've only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect. And the fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may. It is you who should be silent. Of course! Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior. No matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. I don't believe it! Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents.
And what did you find, Inspector?
We ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency.
What?
Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the Chief Coroner himself.
No! No!
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence in this whole affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure.
This can't be right.
Everything falls into place if he was poisoned.
Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore...
So what, if someone was smashed on the head with a glass and then you just happened to pick up a glass from your own table, that mean you're a culprit?
Done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point?
Kazuma. I'm sorry, Inosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Noise.
Please, wait. Isn't that...
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In the darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. In her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth.